Well, 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 well. Another night off of work. I just want to say a couple of things. I know the waters very well. The Detroit River, the Ambassador Bridge, okay? And I spent a lot of time out on the waters in my life. And I've seen ships go off course, okay? And there's the Port Authority of Detroit and Windsor with tugboats that tie up alongside of the ships and guide them back into place. Okay, that's their job. So whenever a ship goes off a course, the bells and whistles are blowing. Okay, and it's like an airplane, no different from an airplane. They're all guided by GPS now, uh, and they're tracked. And to see a ship hit a bridge the way that it did, I'm not buying it. They're trying to sell something. I don't know what they're trying to sell, but a lot of people are dead today. This happened last night in Baltimore, and I just want to say condolences to those affected in the Baltimore incident. And there's a lot. Kinetic energy. Well, Donnie, and you've been on the water as long as I have, our whole lives. We play on the water every year on jet skis. I've had boats my whole life. Okay, I'm out there a lot. And I've seen ships that go off course. Okay, and the tugboats come and rescue them. They're pilot boats, and they act as the engine, and they get them back on course into the strait where the deep water is. Now, people say, "Oh, what would happen if that ever happened to the Ambassador Bridge?" The way that our Detroit River is, the deepest part is under the Ambassador Bridge. So anything that goes astray will rock and hit bottom. Any big ships. So we get a lot of freighters that come through. Uh, it could happen, I guess, but not to throw anchor. The ship, and if he had engine issues in Baltimore, the anchor should have been dropped immediately. And what happens is the anchor will drag. You shut off the engines, the anchor will drag. It'll slow the ship down to a halt. That's what the anchor's for. Eat, read some of these comments here. I got to put on my glasses, believe it or not, because you're not typing in capital letters over here. So mind me. Be the arrow who is dude. You agree? Kinetic energy? Yeah, well, that's a lot of weight hitting there. And okay, I'm seeing all kinds of crazy stuff. Explosions, and people are saying, "Oh, there was dynamite. It was a controlled," and it looked pretty controlled to me. And if you look at the U.S. Army, they blow up bridges all the time, all around the world. That's what they do. Bridges don't come down like that, the way that the one did in Baltimore. Okay, they use uh, missiles and they blow up bridges. Yeah, and it's funny that there was a movie that was out, 6 months ago, about a scenario like this, exact scenario like this, and it was a movie on Netflix. I think it was on Netflix by the Obama people. So the conspiracy theorists, I'm not knocking them because you know what, I'd say 9 times out of 10 they're right, and I'm watching it, and I'm watching it, and I'm watching it. They did drag it. What'd they drag, Donnie? And I'm watching it, and I'm watching it. It does look like implosions. The way that the bridge came down didn't come down in sections. It just went like the London Bridge is falling down. So it's a sad day for Baltimore. Uh, and this will actually hurt the consumer because that's a major port, the Baltimore port. Uh, and you have the ocean right there, right? And more ships will be delayed, more cargo. So there'll be a backup of ships. You just can't start running ships through that until it's all cleaned up. But what would benefit in tearing down a bridge? I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. You know, was it a terrorist attack? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. But all I'm saying is if a ship goes off course and there's engine problems, all bells and whistles, okay, because they're controlled by the GPS and the Port Authority, that's their job, man. The Baltimore Port Authority is their job is to keep those ships in line. And when one's not following the line, that's their job to get it in line. Yeah, nowadays we have to question everything. And you're right, Donna, you have to question everything. The anchor, he did have the anchor down. I don't know. We'll find out in the days to come, right? You know, for the power to go out on a ship once should have been the bells going off. To go twice, Houston, we have a problem, a big problem. And now Baltimore has a big problem. You'd think if a terror attack, it'd be more significant than a bridge. I don't know. Bridges are important. That bridge is, for sure. And the views that I'm getting, they're like far away from the bridge. That's a pretty big bridge. It's like 6 lanes. And I've seen some photos of the entrance of the bridge, and it's a massive bridge. And from what I see on social media, in the news, and everything else, from the angles that we have, it looks like a shitty wrought iron bridge to begin with, right? And a lot of these bridges are built uh, a long time ago. Look at the Ambassador Bridge here in Detroit that connects Windsor to Detroit. That was built in the early 1900s, I think 1930s, somewhere around there, 1940s. And if I took a video of that bridge and you'd see the rust all over it, all they do is just paint over the rust every year. 174. That's not the year it was built, was it? 1928. There you go, Donnie. Thanks for the research. 1928. And all they do is they just keep painting over all the rusted bolts and everything else. Now we have a new bridge coming, the Gordie Howe Bridge, and that's going to be a sight to see. That's a big one. 74, that Baltimore Bridge was built. So, yeah, it's 50 years old. Exactly. Yeah, the infrastructure bill. How do you ensure your city receives the money? And that was a big thing with Joe Biden is Biden economics and the infrastructure bill and all this money that was supposed to go to these people, right? Uh, it didn't. Obviously, roads are just as bad in the U.S., if not worse, in the U.S. than they are in Canada, and they're pretty bad over here. The tobacco man, I was building bridges long before your time. Well, I'm 54, so yeah, I'm I'm at that point. I guess 54 is the new 34, or whatever they want to say, right? The Romans knew how to build a bridge that lasts. Yeah, well, I'll tell you, these wrought iron bridges are corroding now, right? So they're inspected. I'm sure they're inspected. Hopefully they are. Name that movie line. Which movie line? The Tobacco Man. Yeah, so a lot of people are going to be a little paranoid when they start going on bridges nowadays, especially after this one. But just the way that he came down, like I said, the U.S. Army and whatever, the Navy, the Air Force, they're always blowing up bridges in other countries. Look at Russia and the Crimea Bridge. Okay, they blew that up, but it didn't come down like that. I was building bridges long before your time. What movie is that from? Yeah, it looks suspicious, that's for sure. You know, when they blow up a bridge with a rocket, the whole bridge don't come down, only a piece. Like how the Twin Towers came down. Yeah, you know, who knows? Look what's going on in Russia. You get the terrorists attacked at the theater there in Russia in the mall, and they burnt it down and killed a bunch of people. Who knows, right? I'm not going to sit here and say it is a terrorist attack. I don't know. It's too early to tell, but it looks fishy to me. Do I work today? No. I think I'm going to take the rest of the week off. It's Easter week. You get Easter weekend, I'm taking Easter week. I'm just going to keep calling in sick. And if my bosses are watching, yeah, I'm sick. The world's getting crazier every day. You know what? I couldn't agree with you more on that one. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, but these are some pretty crazy times to be alive. That's for sure. So if you haven't subbed to my station, at least sub. Somebody at least give me a thumbs up. I don't even have any thumbs up going on here. You just got to hit that thumbs up button. Yeah, the world's getting crazier. I couldn't agree more with you, Breno. What's next? I don't know. Who knows? Hey, there's three subs, three thumbs up in a sub. Right on. Yeah, as things get a little crazier here in Canada, we gotta. If you don't know what's going on here in the states or elsewhere, we have the Liberal government that passed a bill that's going to raise our taxes on carbon tax by 23% on April 1st, and that's no joke. Even though it's April Fool's Day, so you're going to see a lot of protests going on here in Canada over this carbon tax, right? Because enough's enough. When you can't afford to eat, you can't afford the house, you can't afford anything. Okay, we have a problem. Yeah, it's another con. And it's funny how Canada's the only one in the world, actually, that has a carbon tax. And they think that by having this carbon tax, we're going to cut down on the carbon dioxide in the air. Well, if there was an issue with carbon in the air, our plants and trees would tell us right away. Because if you know anything about plant biology, a plant sucks in what? Carbon dioxide gas and releases what? Oxygen. And if there was an issue with too high of carbon dioxide, your plants would be dead. Your trees would be dying. And that's not the case here in Canada. But we're paying for it 23%. Now, I would expect honesty by the government. Okay, well, they shelled out 350 billion during the scamdemic, uh, and now we're so far in debt that it's tough to get out of. I would rather respect a government that came out and said something along that lines and said, okay, well, we got to put on a 23% tax hike in order to pay off this debt. I'd have respect for them. But to go around lying the way that they are, it's sad. You heard Doug Ford was going to put that on hold. I hope he does. I hope he stands up for the people. You know, as much as I criticize the provincial government and Doug Ford's government, he's done some good things. Starting with my hydro bill's not as high as it was. I just paid my hydro bill. My daughter's today. Mine was $233. My daughter's was $221. Right, so the hydro's come down. So Doug Ford's done that. The plate renewal thing—that's a great thing. You don't have to go and renew your plates every year and pay for it. So he cut back on that. I'm still waiting for that dollar a beer thing. We're already paying environmental tax. We're paying taxes on everything, Paul. We don't even know the taxes now. They were so buried in different tax slang, we'll call it GST, HST, carbon tax. We got tax on top of tax. We got names for taxes. We don't even know, and that's a scary thing. Shane Pollock, hey man, grow food, make fuel, make medicine. Fuck the tax. People need the people, not The government, exactly. And you know what? This is what's going to make this April 1st and the protests that are going to come, because the weather's breaking right now. You know, us Canadians, we like the protests when it's minus 40 degrees outside. So this is going to be the spring. I'd call it an uprising for sure. You know, we're just tax slaves, and that's all we are. We're a number to the government. We're not getting anything back for it. I'm not. You're not. We're getting screwed over. You know, when my grocery bill's $600 a week, wow, and I'm not alone. I'm not getting the groceries as like I used to for 250 or $300. Now I'm paying 600 for that $250 that I was getting before. So Doug Ford's not a stupid guy. He knows that this carbon tax is going to hurt businesses, small and big. And any company that wants to try and come over to Canada to operate, they're not gonna. The welder's way. What's happening? Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And if you haven't sub, man. I need all the subs I could get. Buy silver and gold. I don't understand that. Buy silver and gold. Let's say I bought a brick of gold. Let's say I bought a pound of gold. Now I go buy a bag of a loaf of bread, let's say. What do I do? Take off shavings and pay with it that way? I don't know how it works. Explain it to me, Shane. Oh yeah, it's Dylan Fawcett from Ottawa. See, everybody's got different names on here. So I had some nice beers last night, so I got to calm down and relax and enjoy the world as I know it. You got gold notes. So is it paper? Is it paper gold? Yeah, it's going to hurt everyone, Jason. Uh, my daughter owns a business, which really has nothing to do with carbon. She owns a nail salon, but she's going to be paying the carbon tax, just like everybody. My buddy owns a t-shirt business, carbon tax. It's going to get ridiculous. Gas here in the last 2 weeks has gone up 20 cents. Hey, Linda, I went to the we'll call it the native reserve, and I bought some cigarettes and I filled up. It was $1.70 for diesel in Windsor, and on the res, it was $1.40, 30 cents different per liter for diesel. Canadian guy 79. How is Trudeau allowed to do whatever he wants? And that's the thing, right? You know, the carbon tax has to go. I don't get it. I don't get politics at all. I thought I did, but when you have politicians blatantly committing crimes and the RCMP is not are not investigating it, or they are investigating it and then the parliamentary shuts down the investigation, you know, we're third world Congo. It's a banana republic. Yeah, hurt your business. Patient transfer service, everybody, anybody that drives a vehicle, from truckers to just the delivery guys, your Uber Eats, all of it. You order a pizza now, $20 pizza is now $2.30 more for the carbon tax, and they throw it on the bill. So the guy who delivers the mushrooms, the cheese, the pepperonis, okay, everybody's paying us 23%. So 1,000 of an ounce is worth about $7.50 gold note. How do you get change? Does somebody give you gold notes change? You can say happy birthday to my friend Huge ass. Happy birthday. Jazz. Yeah, so the government does a lot of illegal things behind the curtain, and they're not being held accountable. If it was me or you, we'd be sitting in a prison cell a long time ago. They wouldn't put up with the shenanigans that are going on, and they're all in it together, Paul. Yeah, 100%. If you think Pierre Polyev They're not all on the same team. You're wrong. He's just making waves. The Trudeau government knows that if there is an election today, or even in 2025 when the election's supposed to happen, they're done. You know, they're done. They may not even have party status. So, and they know Pierre Poilievre is going to be the next governing body, right? So it's sickening. We need another party, that's for sure. We need to take out the parties that are running right now. Like, it's sickening. Our prices have doubled in the last few years. Yeah, it's sickening. Our prices have doubled, but the government still get their raise on April 1st, up to $10,000. Some of these guys are getting in raises per year. They don't care, right? And they got all expense paid credit cards. So yeah, they want to buy groceries. They put it on their credit card. It's an expense. They want to go out to eat. It's an expense, and that expense falls on us, the taxpayers. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know what to make of all of it, politically speaking, or the bridge in Baltimore, but something smells fishy. And with that, thanks for tuning in, guys. This is just a short live video of me laying on my couch. Yeah, read some of these comments. Used to be able to go out for breakfast for under $10, taxes and a tip. And you know what? Don't even want to eat out anymore. And it's sad because you know it's going to hurt restaurants. But I'm not just going to throw my money away. Now I'm going to watch the way I spend it. I went in the bank today and I paid my bills. She goes, "Oh, you're doing really good, sir." It's like, yeah, on paper I look great, but really I'm not doing great because I paid my bills on time and I got no credit card. I got a credit card, but I don't owe any money on my credit card. I'm doing well. What a joke. That's what nobody's talking about on April 1st. They're going to give themselves a raise. But right now, everyone's talking about the carbon tax. Right. Well, all this falls into place on April 1st. I'll be mentioning it April 1st for sure. Any government with any integrity would deny a raise. And don't say that you can't, because I work for a company and I was up for raises 3 times. I went in the office. I said, "Leo, we want to give you once $1.50 more an hour." And you know what I said? No, I don't want it. Give it to somebody on the floor that needs it. I've never heard that before. Human resources and the general manager. I've never heard anybody say that before. I said, "Well, I don't need it. All you're going to do is put me into a tax bracket I don't frankly want to go in. It's all going to be tax anyways. So give it to the guys on the floor." Right. So, yeah, I denied raises, and, politicians should be doing the same. If you're got any integrity whatsoever and you see what's going on in Canada, you'd say no to the raise. And you know what? I just might vote. I would vote for you. So somebody sent me here. I think it was Zombie. Zombie is from the States. I think he's from Louisiana area. Turning Guns. Make sure you sub. Make sure you put a thumbs up. Zombie's a good guy. He's a fisherman. Likes fishing. Out in the, would that be the Gulf of Mexico there, I guess. Yeah, good evening. Brand new sub from this morning. Right on, man. The Freedom Misfits. So last night I was out at the bar and filming, if you've seen it, different bands. It was actually pretty cool to get out. It was a younger crowd, university crowd, and just local talent. And it was open mic, so they just pick up the mic and guitars and drums were all there, and they just start playing. And there's some pretty good talent in this town. We need a referendum. What would the referendum be for, Paul? I'd say we need a referendum to split, and that become different countries like Manitoba or Saskatchewan to be a country, or Alberta or Ontario be their own country. I think we need to split. Patriot lover, yeah. And as much as people say, "Oh, we're Canadian, I don't want to leave Canada," we're run by the Americans. Don't get your, there's no ifs, ands about it. We're American. We're run by everything that happens in Canada happens because of America. Even our national security is run by the United States of America. So, what would be the difference if we had a referendum and I put in my vote that I want to split to America and Ontario become part of America? That would be great for America, really great for America because we have all the what? Resources. And they're here to get the resources also. So, you know, being living on a border, everything for me is American. I We're in the kilometer metric system, but I still go by miles, feet, right? Yeah, I want Alberta. Yeah, but you're never going to see Canada break up and become all different countries. That's never going to happen on the back doorstep of the United States of America. This is not the Baltics, right? If anybody's going to annihilate, it's going to be America to take control, right? And with that, we get paid in American money. The price of gas goes down. The price of food goes down. Degrees. Yeah, exactly, Ken. Yeah, degrees is another one. So, yeah, I go by inches, miles, degrees, gallons, right? I don't go by Celsius. I don't go by kilometers or even at work. Everything's thousandths of an inch, the standard. I don't go by metric. Yeah, that would be great. It sounds great, and there's a lot of ring to it, anyways, and there's a lot of talk about different provinces leaving the country, right? So I'm for it. I'd get that buck of beer. You've been hearing that beef's getting really expensive up here, and it's funny you say that, turning guns, because beef in Canada is expensive, but now they're importing beef from Mexico, and you see it in the stores, product of Mexico. I haven't tried it, and I'm all about eating North American beef. You grew up with more Detroit news than Windsor crap. It can 100%. Channel 7 Action News when it was good with Bill Bonds and Diana Lewis back in the day, right? When news was real. ABC, remember all that crap? So before the Gulf War One, the mother of all wars, that's when CNN got big. Uh, Before that, the news was real. The guy came on, Bill Bonds, 20 people shot in Detroit last night. Okay, he told the news the way it was. You got all these gangs and violence and all kinds of crazy shit. And he went down there and he's as a reporter. Okay, not only did Bill Bonds sit in the broadcast. Okay, he went down there physically, got out of his chair and he went down there and he investigated the shit what's going on in my city. Right, that's great journalism. Now today we see journalism where people are just sitting online giving you the news that they've taken from everybody else, and then they try and run it like it's their own when they didn't do anything about journalism but the research on the news that they got from legacy news, and then they play it on their show, right? That's not news. That's a joke. It's lab meat from Mexico. I don't know, Linda. I haven't tried it. I'm not gonna. But you're always hearing scares down in Mexico with the food, right? Salamine, different poisonings, you name it, it comes out of Mexico. So I'm not going to try their meat. They grow their vegetables and human feces, and then there's pathogens, and then next thing you know, everybody's getting sick from eating their food. You know, Linda, trust me, if you'd be in shock if you knew what the World Economic Forum is allowing to put in our food. Linda knows. Linda knows. She's, I'd say, awake. A lot of meat in California too. Yeah, there's a lot of shit that's going on here, man. And to keep up with it all, you know, it's tough. It's tough. Like the Baltimore Bridge, and then in the same next sentence, it's P Diddy, P Diddler. His houses are being raided. We've been calling him P Diddler for 20 years. 20 years we've been calling him P Diddler. Everybody knew something was up with the guy. 20 years, and it took the FBI 20 years. Now either they're in on it, or yeah, they got to be complacent. It, I stayed with the Mexican town after Harpo's. Hey, that was some great food back then, eh? You go down to Harpo's, drink your face off, and then go for Mexican food in Detroit. Those are the good old days. I don't know if Harpo's is still open or not. They're using P Diddler as a scapegoat, so it redirects. Well, like I said, we all knew, and I've been calling him P Diddler since he changed his name from Sean Puffy Combs to P Diddler, right? Everybody knew something was up. And for nothing to happen 20 years later, it's like Bill Cosby, and uh, it's sickening. It's sickening, man, what's going on. To hear human trafficking, this guy's made millions and millions of dollars in the music industry. What are you doing in the sex trafficking business? It makes no sense. But he's got what's coming to him, and he's going to probably wind up like Jeffrey Epstein. Who knows? I don't think Epstein's dead. I didn't see no body. I didn't see no funeral. What's your opinion on horses? What, to eat or ride? Not shocked at all. I'm just reading some of your comments here, guys. Up through the Dakotas. What do you mean by the horses, Cooper? No, not to eat. Yeah, it's pretty bad when you got to eat horses. I can tell you guys a story. 1980, we had I'd call it, in my life, would have been the Great Famine. 1979, 1980. Chryslers, Fords, and GMs in my area, and that's where everybody mainly worked, uh, weren't doing very well, right? My father got laid off. There's 11 of us in the family. We're down, we own a farm, and 250 chickens, few cows, couple of horses, and things started to deplete on the farm. I was only 9, 10 years old at the time, right? So, chickens go missing because we're eating them. The cows go missing, and then a horse goes missing. So then my dad, it was October. He calls up the farmer from 2 doors down. He says, "Hey, Bill, how old's that horse?" He said, "He'll be 8 before Christmas." This was in October. My dad said, "Damn right he'll be 8 before Christmas." And I never caught the play to my brother Joey and there's 11 of us at the dinner table, and they're acting like Mr. Ed. A horse is a horse, of course, of course. You are what you eat, right? So we ended up having to eat that horse, right? True story. So yeah, I ate a horse. Then the dogs and the cats went missing. No, no, we didn't go that far. But that is pretty funny. You'll be 8 before Christmas. So you got to do what you got to do, I guess. Yeah, you love Mr. Ed. Now, somebody said, "What did a horse taste like?" I don't even remember what it tastes like. It could have been big red bubble gum. Yeah, that goes back for me 1979, and I call it because everybody has famine in their lifetime, and that was for me 1979. Lucky a couple of my brothers didn't go missing. My dogs are shaking in the background. Yeah, a couple of my sisters or brothers go missing. We ate them too. So you got to do what you got to do, right? My dad was a cowboy. They sell cured horse meat at Schenkel's in Essex. Absolutely delicious. Really? See, some people are like, yeah, well, an animal's an animal, I guess. When you got 11 hungry kids at home, you got to do what you got to do. Don't eat horses. What are you doing? If you like bubblegum pink or beef brown, yeah, that's funny. It's going to be a battle of the fittest. Yep, I think so, man. You're going to see a lot of strange things going on in this country. And hide your pets, put it that way, because they're allowing people that come from countries that eat your pets in their country. They like dogs, they like cats, they eat rats. Yeah, keep an eye on your pets. Keep your pets spayed and neutered. Eat any frogs? I've eaten frogs. I've eaten snapping turtle. I've eaten rattlesnake. I've eaten alligator. I've eaten shark. I've eaten swordfish. I've eaten everything out of the damn ocean, even the seaweed. So 117 watching, cool. Hit a thumbs up. If you haven't sub. But this is pretty funny, and that's a true horse story, by the way, right? We had to eat the horse, and my brother's like, a horse is a horse, of course, of course. Now I know why I'm hung like a horse. I'm getting famous. You know what? I'm going to plug in the Rumble because the censorship that goes on here on different platforms like Facebook and YouTube. I got about 10,000 something followers on Facebook. And when I go live there, I get a lot of people watching, right? But I'm just trying to work the YouTube thing up. Alligators at fish bones. Yeah, yeah. The lumberjack restaurant used to have all that. And now we have Gilligan's pub there on Ottawa Street. And I could get their menu. I think they still have buffalo burgers and ostrich burgers on their menu. But lumberjack used to have it all. Alligator, you name it, man. You name it. If it was wild, they had it. You wonder who's lurking where in this live? Who cares? Like I said, you can report the news all you want and call yourself a reporter, uh, but when you're just taking other people's headlines that you've seen in other feeds and using that as the news, right? And sitting back in a chair, go out and investigate. Get your news. It's out there. I'm always doing stuff. Windsor Live. I see a whatever. I see a shooting. I'm on it and I film it. I see anything going on that's news to me. I film it and you guys see it, right? So I'm out there on the roads. You're lurking. Well, it's better than jerking, Kenny. So I'm gonna just keep calling in sick and see how this works out for me at work. What do you think's gonna happen? I don't think anything's gonna happen. Yeah, the new job. Be careful. Yeah, but you know what? I should retire. I should before it gets too crazy and you get into a spot where I can't retire. 90 days, I'm all good, Jason. I'm not worried about any of it. Do you suck? Ava, do I suck? Well, there is no room for anybody else. There's really no work, so it's not like I'm calling in sick. There's no work, so they give me the option. Do you want to stay home? Or so I call and go, right. Do you suck or do I suck? Somebody's sucking. As in WWF, Mouth of the South. Yeah, the man without a plan, the master of all your disasters. I have the best news channel in the city. Thanks, Jay. You know what? Like I said, there's some shit that I've filmed that are right off the charts. Like I'm in there before the police are even there. Okay, and there was a shooting and some crap that went on a few blocks away, and I was right in there, and the cops came and they're like, they thought I was one of them, and I'm out there filming right before the lines were even up. Wipe your nose. There you go. So with all that being said, I'm going to get back to my day, and that's going to be doing nothing. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, sub, whatever. You know what you got to do. I'm doing a great job. Thanks, guys.